The White and Gold People, written by Segun Starchild, narrated by Lily Jane. Chapter 3, Aftermath. Laura cried for the next half hour on the edge of her bed. She had a flashback of her entire relationship with Dave, meeting at the freshers' fair in college, their first date at a fun fair, sleeping together for the first time at her dorm room after a Halloween party. The good and bad times, how much she loved him, and all their plans for the future. She tried to remember if there were any signs of him being a cheat. There was nothing blatantly obvious, but the last few months had been shaky, which probably made his eyes stray. She wondered if she would have the heart to forgive him, and when he would show up to try and apologize. But she was more worried about the fact that she could practice remote viewing than him cheating. She decided to wipe her tears, get herself together, and went to meet Angela in the living room. "Hey, Laura," said Angela. "What's up? How are your eyes?" "They're fine. Are you okay?" "Yeah, just a little scared, but I'll be okay." The news was on in the background, and Angie was prowling through the web. As a student of biomedical science, she was in her element, and was having a field day with all the palaver. "Laura, this is crazy. There are people all over the world who have this bright eye syndrome. The doctors don't know what to do. Look!" Angie grabbed the remote control to turn up the TV, which showed several patients in hospital suffering with eye pain. "We have to help them," said Laura. "I'm going to phone the hospital and tell them what we did to help it." Angela sprang up from her chair like an animal on the hunt and grabbed Laura. "No. Don't bother doing that. They wouldn't believe us. Who's going to believe a couple of college students? You just talk to a receptionist who'll take a message and never pass it on. The doctors are too busy." "So what should we do?" asked Laura. "We should make a YouTube video." "I don't know if I'm ready for social media now, Angie. You know me." "It's not about you. There are millions of people suffering right now across the world. Look at all the pain you felt. We've managed to fix it, but not everyone else has." Laura took a moment to understand it from her point of view. "We live in a different world now. Things get shared on social media where they spread like wildfire. It's our job to share information for the betterment of humanity. This isn't some stupid meme." She took a short pause. "When you were screaming in agony, begging for me to help you, would you have liked it if I had just ignored you? Especially if I knew how to fix it?" Angie asked. "That's what we'd be doing to them." Angie could be really pushy when she wanted. She was the extroverted go-getter of the two friends, while Laura was more cautious and relied on her gut feelings and reasoning skills to navigate through life. Laura agreed with her on sharing the fix. It made sense, but she knew deep down Angie would use it as an opportunity to get in front of the camera and draw some attention to herself. "Okay, I'll do it already," Laura snapped, trying to focus on the good she'll be doing instead of Angela's vanity. There were possibly thousands, if not millions of people still in pain, so they needed to make the video fast. They rushed to clean up the flat, charge Angie's phone, and put some makeup on. After 30 minutes, the girls were both ready. "How should we do this?" asked Laura. "Let's just improvise. It wouldn't sound right if it's too scripted," Angie said. "Okay. I'll start first. When I want you to talk, I'll stop and look at you, and you do the same." "Okay." Laura was feeling nervous about improvising, but she was also impatient to get it over with, so she mumbled, "I'm ready." "Cool." Angie turned the camera on. "Hi guys, my name's Angie Martinez. I'm a biomedical science student at UCLA. She looked at Laura, who was staring down at the ground because her mind was suddenly occupied with Dave, and nudged her. Laura looked up, got into gear, and proceeded to introduce herself with a smile. "And I'm Laura Golding, a psychology student, also from UCLA. Laura woke up this morning and was blinded. Like many people, she had this yellow blinding light within her eyes, which caused extreme pain. Laura, can you explain what happened?" "Yeah, it was like my eyeballs had been turned into too many suns," Even when closed, they hurt unbearably. My whole vision was engulfed in this yellow, luminous light, and to open my eyes was even worse. Well, we have something great to share with you today. We know how to fix the problem, Angie said reassuringly. For anyone suffering from this, all you have to do is go outside and stare directly at the sun. We guessed it through trial and error and did it in stages. We figured if her eyes were hurting that badly because of brightness, then darkness was likely to fix it. When that didn't work, we figured we'd do the illogical and go outside in the sun. That's right, that giant gaseous ball 93 million miles away will fix your eyes, Laura said, turning and pointing to the sky. It took a minute to work. You have to keep your eyes fully open and stare at the sun the whole time. Eventually, they'll just switch back to normal. And what happened when they switched back to normal? Angie asked. Things became literally crystal clear. I could see everything. Every speck, every drop, every glitter. It's amazing. I did it 3 hours ago, so it's wearing off slightly, but I can still feel the effects. So there you have it. This is the way to cure hyperluminescence. It worked for Laura, so hopefully it will work for you too. If you have any questions, please leave a comment and we'll try our best to answer them. Oh, and before we go, just a brief legal notice. We are not doctors, and we deny any liability for damage to your eyesight from looking at the sun. If you do this at your own risk. Good luck, said Laura. Once again, I'm Angie. And I'm Laura. Ciao! That was great, said Angie. If my life gets ruined because of this, I'll get you back, Laura said sternly. Mwah! Angie kissed Laura on the cheek. I've got to go now. I'm going to Dave's. But Angie didn't hear her. She was already working on editing and uploading the video. Laura got in her car and drove to Dave's apartment, who lived 10 minutes away in a studio flat. She needed to confront him about the other girl, and knowing Dave, he could be volatile, but this needed to be sorted. She couldn't let this slide, especially as a whirlwind of thoughts and feelings swiveled through her mind. Why did he cheat? Was it because of her? Was there still hope in their relationship? While still going over these questions, she pulled up at his apartment, walked to the door out of habit, and rang the bell. He didn't answer. She rang the bell again and banged on the door. I know you're in there! Open the door! She got her phone out and rang him. But as it was ringing, he opened the door with a face full of guilt and a red patch on the right-hand side of his face. Laura looked at him sternly and walked inside. They looked at each other intensely, like two cowboys about to have a shoot-'em-up. I didn't do anything. You're imagining it. Laura let him talk, so she could hear the lies he would come up with. It was Tom. He crashed overnight, and now he's gone back home to go to get ready for football practice later. Oh, really? You slept with Helen, an Italian girl who was here on holiday. She slapped you for kicking her out unexpectedly. That's why you had that red patch on your face. Tom wasn't there last night because he's gone for a trial with the Rams. You're such a liar, she shouted. Why are you fucking another woman, Dave? After everything we've been through, because we had an argument at the mall? Dave was silent. Tell me, Laura fumed. I was already pissed off from our argument and the way things have been going recently. I would have been lying if I said it was because of that. It's not. We met and we hit it off. It just kind of happened. You thought you'd just go ahead and sleep with her. Like you didn't have a fucking girlfriend. Like you didn't care how I would feel. Oh, let me guess. You thought because she's on holiday you could do it, she could fuck off back to Italy and you would just roll right back to good old Lore's, huh? She walked up to him and started hitting him on the chest multiple times. You fucking bastard! Dave was overcome with guilt after seeing how angry and upset she was. He remembered their trip to Mexico a few months back, how much it was a blast, and thought they might never do something like that again. He was astonished at how she knew everything, right down to the finer details, and needed to find out how. But now all he could do was try and calm her down. He tried to hug her, but she pushed him away and stepped back. I'm sorry, Laura. He changed his tone and walked towards her. Look, I made a mistake. I fucked up. Laura ran out of the house, and Dave ran after her. Wait, Laura, I said I'm sorry. Just give me a chance, as she continued walking away. Dave caught up to her and pulled her back by the shoulder. Please, wait. How do you know all this? Can you at least tell me that? He underhandedly confessed. It doesn't matter. You did it. I deserve to know. It's kind of creepy if you ask me. Laura sighed, thinking of whether to tell him. I was able to see your room while sitting on my bed, like I was actually there. I woke up this morning and I was in pain. My entire sight was engulfed in bright yellow. Something has been happening to me and other people since yesterday. I was so scared. I thought I was going blind. How I was able to see you, I just concentrated so much till I could see you. And when I touched the handle of your door, I could recall events from that object's history. I don't know why, but I think it's some kind of reaction from the condition. Wow. That's kind of strange. I can't do this anymore, Dave. Things might have been a little rough, but I need to know I can count on you in the future, and I can't trust you anymore. It's over. I know you're hurt, and you probably don't mean it, so I'll give you time. We'll talk about it later. Laura got into her car and drove away. At home, Laura headed straight for her room, passing the open lounge without intending to say a word. But Angie noticed her friend's hurried entrance and stopped watching the news to follow Laura to her room. Laura, what's wrong? That bastard Dave cheated on me. Shit, Laura, I'm sorry. What happened? After we fixed my eyes, I called him and heard someone sneeze. It sounded like a woman. I asked him who it was, and he said it was Tom. I didn't believe him, so I sat down and really concentrated, trying to put my consciousness in his room, and I saw him there with another girl. I saw his room clearly, like I was watching it on TV. Laura divulged. Things haven't been good for a while, and now this. I can't trust him anymore, so I ended it. Oh my gosh, they're right, said Angie, focusing her gaze into the empty space between them. Who's right? Right about what? The news. I'll turn it up. Doctors and nurses have been working non-stop since the early hours of this morning to try and stop the agony of people experiencing hyperluminescence. They have been interviewing patients about what they did yesterday in the hope of finding the reasons and cure for the mysterious illness. As the doctors and nurses spoke to more and more people, they began to see a common connection between the patients. All of them saw the infamous dress in white and gold. Doctors around the country started to share results, hoping to find similarities to iron out the cause of the problem. The fact this happened a day after the Dressgate saga is no coincidence, and shows the events are definitely related. The questions now become endless, and the mystery of the dress will continue to linger on. Professor of Human Biology Kyle Watts offers his thoughts. It's truly amazing what has happened over the last few days. There are lots of things we need to verify here, and our primary concern is finding a cure for the disease. In fact, doing so will probably answer the other questions, being, is there a genetic trait in the white and gold people that is not present in the blue and black people? Or can it be attributed to environmental surroundings? At what point did this genetic shift or environmental trigger occur, and why don't the black and blue people experience the hyperluminescence if it is environmental? So you're suggesting the possibility that humans are evolving? Yes, that is a strong possibility. Everything is possible at this stage. I'm no scientist or doctor, but humans have stopped evolving for thousands and thousands of years. We've plateaued at this stage for quite a long time. How or why should we suddenly start evolving now? Well, yes, we haven't evolved for a long time, but long and short are relative terms. In fact, we've been Homo sapiens for 150,000 years now, which is very short in evolutionary terms. The how and why can be attributed to many factors, one of which is environment, as in the case of giraffes who evolved to have long necks, so they could eat the leaves from tall trees. But why and how this happened now, we are yet to investigate. For now, we suppose that there is a high chance of people who saw the dress as white and gold to have reached the next level in human evolution. So many questions, so little answers. One thing's for sure is that humans clearly have an existential crisis on our hands. I'm Troy Douglas from ABC 7, and we will update you on this breaking news story throughout the day.